Alright, I'm like super late on this, but still. Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Cables15, aka Brass Fist, and we need to talk about it. It's been floating around for some months, and there's been a recent development on the topic that has anyone who was involved kind of walking on ice now, especially if they wish to continue to partake in the topic at hand. Now, let me preface this. The tinfoil hat is coming on for this one because I got some theories and I am so prepared to die on this hill. I don't even care. But to catch you guys up on what I'm even talking about, for the last 6 months or so, there's been a version of Street Fighter 6 that people could download and play without officially being provided by Capcom. That would be the Street Fighter 6 beta made available back in October for a single weekend. Now officially for many this was the first time they played Street Fighter 6, and for others, well, it wasn't. It was a closed beta and only a select few were able to partake for that weekend. Me being a select few, if you don't mind me gloating. Now the beta served a few purposes, like of course stress testing the online connectivity, and also just giving people a taste of what to expect / building trust that unlike Street Fighter V, 6 will be good from the start. But like I said before, it was a closed beta, so only so many got to experience this. But that didn't stop some, let's say savvy PC users, because the beta was, against many players' judgment, on PC, which totally meant PC players were going to do things that wouldn't be super ethical, like modding and cracking the beta to be playable basically whenever they want to play it. And not only that, that same cracked version of the Street Fighter 6 beta was dumped online for basically any and all to download. Now Capcom took some measures to stop people from accessing the game outside of official beta hours by removing certain files that would make the game unplayable. But the damage had already been done. It was out in the wild and players did everything under the sun with it. It's been to tournaments, events, weeklies, monthlies, conventions. It was played on Parsec, and even more places I won't even mention because I'm not no snitch, you feel me? Bottom line is, this game got around in every sense of the phrasing. It got around with super ease of access, allowing so many to practice and prepare for upcoming tournaments and the game's eventual release. This obviously posed an issue to the more honest individuals, for many top players chose not to mess around with the crack since this went directly against Capcom's TOS, and wanted to play the game legitimately. Now there were many different sides firing at each other here, with some saying that this is entirely unfair since these crack players are playing the game at their leisure and entering tournaments with knowledge of the game they wouldn't have otherwise. And it really does show who's been playing the game for way longer than a weekend or two if you go and check some tournaments, just saying. But then there's the other side saying that this really is no different from Japanese players having access to older games in the arcades and even in home releases well before we could play them here in the West. And it would mainly be those two arguments until, I'm guessing, enough top players like Momochi would make their discontentment on the matter known, prompting Capcom to make a statement. Finally. So, Capcom came to Twitter to address the crack situation by stating, "It has come to our attention that some users have been accessing the Street Fighter 6 closed beta test software and playing the game outside of the designated period. This is a violation to the CBT terms of service and can be seen as a violation of the Capcom Pro Tour Code of Conduct. For the avoidance of doubt, from this point forward, any player who is shown with clear evidence of accessing the CBT in an unauthorized way may be deemed ineligible for the upcoming Capcom Pro Tour and Street Fighter League seasons. We appreciate your cooperation and understanding in helping maintain the fairness and competitive integrity of our competitions." And boom, the issue is solved. No one will play the Street Fighter 6 beta crack ever again. Capcom has put their foot down, it's done, it's over, we're finished. Okay, but seriously. There are some main takeaways from this, like Capcom stating that anyone seen using the crack from this point forward affirms that there was never any risk of using it, and I highly doubt they would want to go too far about this because, and let's be real here, everyone was playing this crack, especially if they're a top player. Your favorite player may say they never have, but I'm so willing to bet that's a lie because why would they not? There was never a confident way for Capcom to know who was and wasn't playing the crack, and I highly doubt they would want to ban any well-known players from competing in the very first Street Fighter 6 tournaments. So, risk was minimal to none. There might be some out there who really didn't want to play the crack out of integrity, but I can't imagine that being many. Now, I need you to bear with me. This is my take. And the tinfoil hat is coming on because... Are you ready? Because what if I said that Capcom is a company and everything from Beta 1 to the crack to their eventual response was planned? Because I think it was. See, the main thing that people seem to be forgetting or either don't know is there are many steps a project, in this case Street Fighter 6, has to go through before it's greenlit to start development. There's the budget, of course, sales projection, gauging if there's an audience for it, planning trailers and ads, and even just the simple fact that they don't want 6 to suffer the same fate 5 did when it launched. There's just way too much foresight that has to be present to ensure the project is successful. Even DLC is planned at least a year in advance, so there's no way I believe Capcom put the game on PC without anticipating someone, or even themselves if I really want to get crazy about this, would mod and crack the game and be playable whenever. It basically does no harm and gives fans a talking point, keeping the game a hot topic even if there isn't official news announced, no matter how controversial the talking point is. And even the punishment that Capcom is dealing out applies to a very small percentage of players who even care about entering tournaments. That's not to say that there won't be an insane number of tournament entries for Street Fighter 6, in fact, it's a new Street Fighter, so I'm hoping for it. But that's not a super big percentage of the sales I'm sure they're looking to make with this game. Anyone who actually went through the effort to download and play the crack is going to buy the game anyway. Capcom knows this because they didn't say anything about it until 6 months after the fact. It doesn't impact sales. Otherwise, why would they wait this long? For players to gain a morality code and say, this is wrong? Yeah, no. I mean, the game is made off of the RE engine. The same engine that's been around for some time, and the very same engine people have been modding forever now for the Resident Evil games. Capcom knew. And the only reason they say something now is to appease players' concerns with an official acknowledgement/statement, and because the game really just comes out in less than a month. There was never a profit to be lost, and never a reason to care other than trying to keep a level playing field that, in my honest opinion, won't even matter 2 months after the game drops. Okay, taking off the hats. Now, I personally can't wait for the official open beta coming out soon, and I'm sure you guys can't either. It's our last stop before the game drops, so I hope to see some of you there. Officially. But until then, why don't you go ahead and leave a like? Or even a dislike. Tell me if you think this was a PR stunt by Capcom, or if you think I'm crazy, because I genuinely want to know. I've been letting this sit in my head for a while, so please share your thoughts. And if you want more out there theories and content on fighting games, go ahead and sub to the channel. It'd be really awesome if you did. This is your boy Cables with 15, and I'll see you.